watching ThrivingMinimalist.com. This is a series on downsizing habits, a series of candid videos where I kind of share my experience about how to maybe let go of the things that you might be doing that aren't really serving you. Today's topic, subtopic on downsizing your habits is on pornography. Porn, XXX, naked bodies. It's good stuff. I mean, I still look at porn sometimes. I enjoy it. And I don't think that there's anything ethically or morally wrong with the production of or the watching of pornography if it's done in a consensual way. And you might not feel that way, and that's totally cool. And I think there are legitimate reasons to make an argument to the contrary. But my belief is, that these are people who are deciding to do something, share an amount of energy in an exchange for money. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with watching porn or masturbating to porn. I find that it's quite fun sometimes, and I have a very regular sex life, a very healthy sex life. I'm even in an open, what is referred to often as a poly relationship. So I'm free to explore outside of the container of just one individual. And I do that. And so does my other partner that I routinely connect with. But despite that, porn is still something that I enjoy from time to time. So, this is a cool thing to be talking about in this video, because this goes for the whole series. Downsizing your habits, it's not necessarily about trying to get rid of something completely from your life. It doesn't have to be so black and white. I think what we're talking about is bringing intentionality into the actions that we are participating in. And my experience around pornography has been, at different times, I have used porn to take care of myself in a somewhat unhealthy way. That is, there were healthier options, or there may have been something I was missing, and it wasn't porn, but I was using porn to take care of that part of me that felt like something was missing. And this is the other kind of running theme with these videos, is downsizing habits, is that often we are trying to take care of ourselves. I mean, we're just doing the best we can do with the knowledge that we have. And sometimes that manifests in drinking, doing drugs, watching a lot of porn, eating a whole lot of pizza, spending all the money you have, going into debt, gambling. I mean, it manifests in so many different ways. And what we find as humans is that there are parts of us screaming at us, please stop. Please stop. This doesn't feel good. I need things to change. I need things to be different. I can't do this and feel good about myself. And at the same time that those parts are screaming, we have these other parts that are like, I have to do this. I have to take care of us. I've got to watch more porn, like right this minute, because I'm starting to feel some stuff that's uncomfortable. And for me, that's how it was. All of my needs were not getting met. Physically from the outside world, emotionally from the outside world. But more importantly, my need for self-attention, which translates into self-love, was not getting met. And I found that I was using pornography to kind of get into a place where I didn't have to think. I didn't have to feel. I didn't have to connect, because connecting from the understanding of myself that I had at the time was too intense. I couldn't do it. Sometimes I couldn't just lay in bed and feel the feelings. It was too intense, man. And my connection with pornography started when I was pretty young, and I felt like this addictive pull towards it. Because I think we do, naturally, physiologically, we are drawn towards naked bodies, and we are drawn towards people having sex, and we are drawn towards sex noises and the smell, and it excites us. And there's a reason for that biologically. And so pornography kind of plays on this natural biological response. It gets us high. It's another way of getting high. And there's nothing wrong with getting high. This is my point. There's nothing wrong with getting high. Morally, ethically, nothing wrong with it. It's not even bad for you. But it can be used in an unhealthy way. And when there are parts of us screaming, please stop. You know, like I really wanted to stop watching porn when I was in my monogamous marriage, because it really affected us. I mean, when she would discover it, this was a relationship I had that ended 4 years ago, but we were together for 12 years. So, I mean, I was 16 years old. We separated when I was 28. And during that time, especially in the beginning, when I was like caught looking at porn, it was horrible. I mean, she felt horrible. I felt horrible. There was so much shame, so much guilt, so much misunderstanding. It sucked. And parts of me were so terrified that if she caught me one more time, it would be the end of our relationship, which was at the time the scariest thing that I could imagine. The scariest thing I could imagine. And I still did it. Because there were parts of me that felt like, I have to. This is a way to take care of myself. It's a way to temporarily kind of like shift my attention on these things, these feelings that were coming up that were too painful to deal with because I didn't have the understanding of how to take care of myself in those ways. Shift it, look at porn, and then go down this other track, you know? How can I get high and shift really quick because we're getting close to some painful stuff? That is what these parts of our brain are doing. It's an emergency. And it's connected with trauma, y'all. It's connected with some serious stuff in there. I'm talking about stuff from like when we're really, really young. And we've all got it. We've all got it. I hear people say sometimes, you know, oh, I didn't have it that hard. You know, my life wasn't that bad. And that's great. I mean, that is a good perspective to have. But also, give yourself a chance to acknowledge that despite not having maybe the hardest life, like, yes, other people probably had a tougher time in certain areas, but you still have trauma in there. I guarantee it. And that doesn't mean that your caregivers were terrible people or anything like that. Or that something's wrong with you, or that you're broken. This is just like people endure trauma. It's totally cool. It's all good. But what happens with trauma is if it's not dealt with in a healthy way, it doesn't become integrated, which is to say the mind doesn't understand it. And so it stays confusing and scary. And it gets locked in there in an interesting way. And there are parts of our brain, that literally parts develop in our brain to take care of that trauma, of the other part of our brain holding on to that trauma, that confused, scared state. And if we get close to that scared, confused state, these other parts of our brain become active and start firing and start saying, we gotta drink, we gotta go smoke, we gotta go look at porn, we gotta go shop. And it's all good. I mean, that's how our brain takes care of us. It's kind of a trip, but this is like our understanding with the brain these days. This is our knowledge that we have. And what's cool about having this knowledge is that just having the knowledge actually brings health into the brain. So recognizing that, okay, I have some trauma that's probably maybe somewhere in there, that's maybe a little bit confused, that is unintegrated, that may need a little attention at some point. I have these other parts that are trying to take care of me by doing these things that other parts of me really hate and really want to stop. And it makes sense, and I can see all of this. And just having that knowledge, it changes the way your brain functions. And it brings you more space to actually align with health, so that you don't have to force change. You don't have to feel like it's black and white. You don't have to feel like I'm either going to be an alcoholic forever or I'm going to stop drinking forever. It doesn't have to actually be like that. If we can create space to align with health, we will naturally choose the healthy option without force and without resistance. Pornography doesn't, Watching porn doesn't make you addicted to porn. Just like having a beer doesn't make you an alcoholic. We can do these things and still be very, very healthy in our mind and our body. But if we have unintegrated trauma and we have parts that are trying to protect that trauma and they are using alcohol or porn or whatever else it is to do that, then it becomes a little more complicated. But the first step is always to know it, to observe it, to recognize that you are not a victim here. You're actually functioning very well. Your brain is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's taking care of you so that you can survive. And if you can survive, then your brain wants to create a thriving environment for you. So help your brain out. Observe it. Bring intentionality into your action. Take a breath before you watch that porno or you take that drink. Just take a breath. Just taking a breath changes the way the brain functions. Knowing that you have the power to change your brain, that changes the way the brain functions. And as you develop this understanding that you are actually the creator of your universe, not in some woo-woo way, in an actual scientific, measurable way, you create everything up here. I mean, yeah, you're not going to change a tree into a bird or whatever. I mean, maybe you will mentally, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about shifting your perspective. I'm talking about being in control of your actions without force. So you don't have to try, but you're controlling it. You create your universe right here. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance to do that. Recognize that you have the power to do it. Know that, yeah, it might take a little while to feel like you're on the right momentum kick to really be utilizing this stuff, but you can make changes today. And that doesn't mean that you have to force yourself not to watch porn today. That's not the intention of these videos. The intention of these videos is to bring intention into whatever action parts of you want to stop doing. And you can bring intention into it by simply taking a breath before you do it. That's it. Try that out. I so recommend it. I so recommend it. And thank you so much for watching these videos. These are very candid. This is just me hanging out in my truck, chilling, talking to you about porn. What I want to do with these videos is take the shame away from any action that you might be doing, that parts of you feel like they really don't want to be doing, that parts of us as humans hold on to shame and guilt about quite often, and tell you it's all good. You're a good person. Your body and brain are functioning. You can also step it up and give yourself more love. And if you give yourself more love and intention and space, you will empower yourself. You will align with health, and you will naturally choose the healthy option. I really hope that that was helpful. So much love to you. All of your comments are welcome. I might not get back to all of them, but I read all of them, and they mean so very much to me. Much love to you. Take care of yourselves. If I can do anything for you, I think I've got a pretty awesome program on my website that helps people. The feedback that I've received tells me so, and I believe that that is a fact. You can use the discount code YouTube and get $10 off. Check it out at thrivingminimalist.com. It's a 30-day program, 30 days of emails, videos, meditations, and so on. It helps you get to know yourself and how to do this kind of stuff that I'm talking about in these videos. So, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.